This episode of See Tolle Run is brought to you by Athleta Esprit de Ski, FitSock, and MTech Results. Hi, I'm Olympian Carrie Tollefson, and today we're talking hydration with Dr. Angie Voight. So let's get after it. Can you give us a few basic, guidelines on hydration and what we should do whether we are an athlete or not?
Well, hydration it's something that is changing a lot, and everybody has their own opinion. And the guidelines are actually going back toward drinking to your thirst, using your body's own natural mechanism for telling you if you need fluid replacement to use that. If you're thirsty, drink. So it's not so much that you have a specific amount that you should be drinking, but having something available to you, especially in the summer. It's hot, you're going to sweat more, you're going to dehydrate more. So having something around that you can sip throughout the day, and when you're thirsty, drinking. And then during runs and after runs, if you can monitor your sweat rate, which is not that hard to do, that's a good way to figure out how much you need to replenish after a run.
Okay.
So
you just get on before and get on after?
Yep, you weigh yourself right before a run. You weigh yourself afterwards, and for every pound that you lose, it's 16 ounces of fluid. So if you run for an hour, you lose 2 pounds, then you have to replace 32 ounces of fluid.
Because there is the other side where you can overhydrate. So talk about that. What's that called?
Yeah, hyponatremia is where you overhydrate with water or a really dilute solution. So it's more common. It is common in marathon runners. I mean, it's the longer events, and it's usually more people who run in the 4.5 to 6 hour range, where you're out there long enough. You drink a lot of water at every stop, and your body's sodium levels actually drop, and you can be really sick. You can get pretty dangerously ill. So you want to avoid overhydrating. So that's if you drink to thirst, you're less likely to do that, because instead of drinking at every single water stop, if you're thirsty, you drink, and if not, then you don't.
So let's talk specifics now. The chocolate milk is a big replenishing drink now. Is that something you use?
Yeah, no, actually I do, and especially after workouts or longer runs, it has been shown that if you have a beverage with some protein in it, and usually in a ratio of 4 carbs to 1 protein, which chocolate milk is perfect for that. It's a good ratio. So you're getting rehydrated, you're having something with carbohydrate and protein, and it'll help you recover a little bit faster. So as soon as you can after runs, within a half hour, it is good for recovery and rehydration.
So are you a big, advocate for getting in any kind of fluid, or would you say no against a soda? What is your opinion on that?
I think, it depends on how much you're doing, and that kind of determines what you should replace with. If you're doing a shorter run, like even under an hour, water is fine. If you're doing longer than that, doing something with electrolytes is better. I'll drink pop. I think probably the main thing is the caffeine, and if you're not used to it, it can dehydrate you a little bit. So I'm not completely opposed to it. I think people have different opinions on it.
Doctor said it was okay to have a cherry Coke.
I have a little coffee, little Coke, so that's fine.
But all in moderation.
In moderation, and if you're drinking other things throughout the day.
So what is it about a Coke or a sugary, maybe sports drink that is okay after those long runs? I mean, you don't want to have it, like you said, after necessarily a 20-30 minute run.
Yeah, well, and they have, so the carbohydrates, that's the main thing, and there's electrolytes too, and those are the things that it has above water, and so that's better for recovery. Your body actually holds on to the fluid and absorbs it a little bit better when you do have the electrolytes in it, so that's where a sports drink is helpful. And a Coke is, it has the same things in it. There is more sugar generally, and the carbonation sometimes can affect people, and then the caffeine too. So those are the things you have to, maybe some of the negatives of that compared to just a sports drink.
Sometimes though, when I'm out on a run and I get home, I see that I have some salt on me. Is that a sign of dehydration, or?
Well, it's probably just a sign that you're a salty sweater, and different people sweat out different amounts of salt. So for you, it might be more important to have an electrolyte drink where you replace some of that salt that you sweat out. So that's actually a good sign if you find that you're kind of all white and salty after a run, that you should be having something with electrolytes maybe instead of just plain water.
And so do I want to be drinking cold water, warm water, cold electrolyte drinks?
Yeah,
What do you?
yeah.
Do you have a recommendation there?
Well, usually whatever you're able to drink more of,
Okay.
and actually there's a little bit of research looking at really cold drinks like a slushy or an ice cold drink
Yum.
for, before a run to help cool your core. So if your core is cool, you'll perform better, especially in hot conditions. So this summer when it's really hot, especially if you're doing your long workouts for Twin Cities, if you have a cold slushy or something that you can drink before your workout, it'll help you feel better and you may perform a little bit better too.
Well, we'll be seeing you on the roads here training soon. And
Yeah.
thanks for keeping us healthy always.
All right, sounds good, Carrie.
Okay. Thanks for joining me for my interview with Dr. Angie Voight. Get after it. Cheers. That's why I don't drink.